Ever thought about what makes a great table tennis player? People who are really good at tennis don't just have lightning-fast reactions or a great backhand. They also know how to use strategy and tactics to their advantage. Learn the top 5 strategies employed by table tennis winners to win games and solidify their dominance in the sport. Play to elbow. When done well, this move can throw off your opponent's game in a way that regular shots just can't. By carefully aiming at this area, you make it harder for your opponent to get a clean, powerful hit on the ball. It's like tying them up in knots and pushing them into awkward situations that make the returns less good. When you play a real match, hitting the first ball into your opponent's elbow usually leads to a weaker return, which gives you the perfect chance to take advantage of their weakness. As shown in a match example, if you take this chance, you can quickly change the game and take charge. If they don't move smoothly or end up moving into the shot, which hurts their position and shot quality, this little bit of uncertainty on their part can work in your favor. It may appear simple, but it is actually pretty difficult. In table tennis, we're talking about aiming for a specified spot on your opponent's side of the table. This is usually at the hip or elbow area. The difficulty stems from the fact that you must be extremely accurate in your placement. This precision is critical because if you stray too much to the right, your opponent will likely reply with a forehand shot. If you're too comfortable hitting to their backhand side, you're not applying enough pressure. So the idea is to aim precisely for that hip or elbow spot. This method does not only apply to aggressive shots. Even during extended pushes or defensive plays, directing the ball to that exact location makes it more difficult for your opponent to set up a solid offensive move. When you find that elbow point, it throws off their positioning and rhythm, which might work in your favor. Another advantage of focusing on this area is that it allows for wide-angle photographs. Your opponent may be leaning or off balance when attempting to reposition oneself to handle the ball in the hip or elbow region. This flaw allows you to take advantage of wide angles by hitting the ball into the corners and forcing them even more out of position. Don't force it. Imagine that you are playing table tennis with a lot at stake. You are nervous, and you want to win so badly that you go for the kill shot too soon, trying to force the point too soon. A lot of people, including myself, have fallen into this trap many times. It's easy to want to play faster and harder when you're under a lot of stress, but quality and spin are what will keep you in the rally. When the game is intense, it's all too easy to give in to the urge to hurry, which can lead to a series of mistakes that you didn't mean to make. Don't worry though, there is a way to fight this urge: control and patience. The goal should be to carefully and accurately place the first 5 balls on the table. This meticulous strategy enables you get to the point slowly, preventing costly mistakes typical of rushed work. Rushing through the game can also impair your mental health, frustration, and anxiety, as well as your physical performance. Relax, keep the ball in play, and carefully move your opponent to regain control. Allow me to demonstrate this method with a brief match. Dan begins the point with a powerful backhand spin. Despite jumping into the forehand stroke, he misses. Dan starts the next run with a solid backhand spin, but he stays in better position and doesn't force it. Controlled and skilled, he stays in the rally and wins the point with a well-placed shot. Quality of spin. A lot of players find it hard to handle these deep, low-quality spin shots, especially when they need to block the spin's path or make a counterattack. Someone like T-Mobile, who doesn't always go for a winning third-shot attack, is a great example of this type of player. Instead, he uses a different approach. He gives his shots a lot of spin and quality, which makes it very hard for his opponents to block or control the ball. A player's touch, staying low, and brushing the ball with fast acceleration while keeping control are the keys to getting such good, slow, heavy spin. It takes a careful balance to get powerful spin, as shown in a short demo that makes it hard for the other player to control the ball's spinning and path. The amount of difficulty this slow, heavy spin gives the other player is what makes it different from faster shots. When hit hard and quickly with little spin, you can return it even if your position isn't ideal. On the other hand, the slow, deep, and heavily spun shots force the other player to exactly change their angle and apply enough pressure to keep the ball under control and return it well. The quality of the spin can make or break the game, especially when playing against players of different skill levels. When playing against someone better, the extra quality in the spin shots makes it hard to keep up, which often leads to scoring points you didn't expect. If, on the other hand, you play against someone who has better spin, you will have to deal with the quality and speed of the ball. It is very helpful to learn how to spin, especially at the beginning of a point. With smart use of spin, players can get an edge and earn more points. When a player's backhand has a lot of movement, like in Tom's example, the other player often makes more mistakes because they can't handle the spin. Slowing down the top spin and focusing on feeling the ball hit the surface are important ways to get better at spin. By carefully brushing the ball against the racket and letting it stay there for longer, you can learn to control the grip on the rubber, which leads to better spin. This methodical approach helps you understand how the spin works and get the most out of it in the game. Strategy awareness of the opponent. There is an important part that is often forgotten. Being aware of your opponent and knowing where they are in relation to you and the sides of the table. In the heat of fight, it's easy to get lost in your own thoughts and only think about keeping the ball in play, not paying attention to or understanding what the other player is doing. But by focusing on this one thing, you can figure out their strengths and flaws, which lets you change your game plan to throw them off and take advantage of their weaknesses. Imagine a player who prefers to hit with their forehand and wants to turn in order to unleash its power. If you pay close attention to their movements and guess that they are going to turn, you could send the ball wide into their forehand, which would catch them off guard. This shows how powerful it is to be very aware of where your opponent is and what they are planning to do. Let us look at a part of a match where Tom showed this knowledge perfectly. His opponent pushed him into the backhand corner, which made it possible for him to turn. But Tom was so smart that he saw his opponent turn and quickly hit a forehand down the line, throwing his opponent off balance. This part of awareness is often ignored when players are focused on their own plans, which can cause problems they didn't expect. It's important to break this loop by always thinking about where your opponent is on the field during the game. As an example, if your opponent wants to quickly attack during rallies, you should be alert enough to respond by making sure your shots stay short, which will stop their topspin attack. Being able to figure out what your opponent is planning, whether it's how they're getting ready for a certain shot or what methods they like to use, is very helpful. For example, if your opponent counts on the backhand flick a lot, serving short to their backhand could mess up their game plan and make it hard for them to hit their go-to shots. It's important to watch, think about, and change based on what each person does. This knowledge grows as you play and gain experience, making you smarter about matches and giving you more control over the game. Make your serve count. Being good at serving is like having a game within the game. It's a smart tool that can help you win. You have to be good at more than just hitting the ball over the net. You have to know how to trick your opponent with changes and spins that give you the perfect chance to make a decisive attack. How different your serves are is the key. By changing your spins, you keep your opponent guessing, which increases the chance of getting a loose return that you can use to your advantage. Not only does a good serve set the tone for the comeback, but it also gives you a big advantage. You can guess what the likely return will be. This helps you plan your move well, giving you a split-second edge over your opponent, which is very important in the fast-paced world of table tennis. These 5 strategic serves as pillars in the table tennis playbook. Remember this. Mastering these techniques is the cornerstone of achieving excellence in the sport. From the art of the serve to the nuanced control of spin, each strategy holds the potential to elevate your game to new heights. By integrating these tactics into your gameplay, you not only enhance your chances of victory, but also deepen your understanding of this thrilling sport. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos.